The United States and Canada have long been close partners in trade. They share the largest bilateral trade relationship in the world. Goods flow freely across the border. But this relationship has been tested in recent years. In 2025, the US imposed tariffs on a range of Canadian goods. This ignited a trade war between the two neighbors. These tariffs are taxes on imported goods. The US tariffs targeted key Canadian industries. These included steel, aluminum, lumber, and automobiles. This action had a significant impact on the Canadian economy. Canadian businesses faced higher costs. They became less competitive in the US market. The tariffs caused uncertainty and strain in the relationship between the two countries. Canada viewed these tariffs as unfair and protectionist. The Canadian government vowed to respond strategically and decisively. Canada was determined to protect its interests and its workers. The US tariffs had a ripple effect throughout the Canadian economy. Industries directly targeted by the tariffs felt the most immediate impact. Canadian steel and aluminum producers faced significantly reduced demand from their largest export market. This resulted in job losses and plant closures in communities reliant on these industries. The lumber industry, a major employer in several Canadian provinces, also suffered. US tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber increased the cost of building materials in the US. This dampened demand and put downward pressure on lumber prices, impacting Canadian producers. The automotive sector, a cornerstone of the Canadian manufacturing industry, faced uncertainty and disruption. Tariffs on Canadian-made cars and auto parts threatened the integrated supply chains between the two countries. This put thousands of jobs at risk and increased costs for consumers on both sides of the border. Canada refused to accept the US tariffs without a fight. The Canadian government responded with retaliatory tariffs of its own. These targeted a strategic selection of US goods. Canadian tariffs focused on products from states politically important to the current US administration. Canada also pursued diversification of its trade partnerships. It sought to reduce its reliance on the US market. Canada strengthened ties with the European Union. It also deepened its engagement with the Asia-Pacific region. Canada signed the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTP. This trade pact opened up new markets for Canadian goods and services. Domestically, Canada implemented policies to support affected industries and workers. The government provided financial assistance to businesses impacted by the tariffs. It also invested in worker retraining programs to help those who lost their jobs transition to new opportunities. Canada's response to US tariffs marked a turning point in the Canada-US trade relationship. It demonstrated Canada's resolve to defend its interests on the global stage. It also highlighted Canada's commitment to free and fair trade. The trade dispute had lasting implications for both countries. The tariffs accelerated Canada's efforts to diversify its trading partners. This reduced its economic dependence on the US. Canada emerged as a vocal advocate for multilateralism and the rules-based international order. It sought to strengthen alliances with like-minded countries. The long-term impact of this trade dispute on the Canada-US relationship remained to be seen. It underscored the importance of dialogue and cooperation in resolving trade disagreements. It also highlighted the interconnectedness of the two economies and the need for a balanced and mutually beneficial trading relationship.